Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. My name's Lee Henson, president and founder of Agile Dad. And without any further ado, let's get started. So, everyone here knows that I'm pretty passionate about military and about service and about giving back and about doing all we can for our veterans and for those who have served us. And one question that rings out, especially with our new relationship, our new partnership with Vets to PM. One of the new things that really resonates with me right now is I've had a lot of questions from military veterans about how does Scrum or Agile apply to us, or why is it important? And I think that there are three individual topics that I want to make sure that we cover in order to make sure that we get this nailed down, get this hammered out. So the first topic we want to talk about is why Scrum. And I think that, if you've done any research into the project management world or into listings or into things that are there, while the PMP by many is still considered the gold standard, especially within the Virginia Beltway, East Coast, working with the military, big three type firms, what you'll quickly discover is that many of those are now asking for Agile credentials or Scrum credentials, specifically Certified Scrum Master and Certified Scrum Product Owner. And the reason they're asking for these certifications is because this takes what you've learned via your PMP or other project management classes and elevates your capabilities to be able to execute in an Agile environment, which means that you're going to take more time to focus on building the right thing, building the thing right, and getting it out the door quickly, so that it can please and focus on outcome instead of output. And I know that all sounds crazy just right up front, but when you consider that a lot of the skills and a lot of the things that you've done in your military career directly translate to an Agile project manager or a Scrum Master, what you're going to quickly discover is that the role of Scrum Master is something that you've been doing for many years in the military, and it's going to feel quite comfortable. Or the role of Product Owner is going to be an easy transition, and it's going to feel quite comfortable because many of the career choices and many of the things that you do in the armed services have a direct correlation to Agile project management. So it'll be easier for you to translate those things over. So the point of Agile is to help us focus on inspecting what we build, so to build things incrementally, to inspect them frequently, to make adaptation or adjustments, to pivot, and for us to have complete transparency and feel like it's safe to communicate status of where we are, what we're doing, how things are built, and how things apply. And I think that many times we forget that, in order for us to build a product or service or kick something off, it doesn't always mean that we have to start with documentation, which kind of leads me to the number two. I'm sort of rolling into it here, which is, how do we translate what we've done into a new career of Agile project management, and is it worth it? How does it apply to me? And I think that once we understand that Agile isn't about doing something different than a traditional project would be done, it's about taking a traditional project and building it iteratively or incrementally and building small pieces first, focusing on work just a couple of weeks at a time so that you have the ability to do 2 weeks worth of work, show what you've done in 2 weeks, and have the ability to have stakeholders take a look at that and say, that's exactly where we hope we'd be heading, or wow, that's not what we expected, or we're going in the right direction but we need to make some adjustments. This gives you the ability to have a 2-week check-in, if you will. And then beyond that, as a team, it gives you an opportunity to have a daily huddle. For those of you who are Marines, you get that, or a daily stand-up, or an opportunity just to check in with your peers to make sure that everything that you're doing is on track. And that if you do have any interruptions or any disruptions or anything that's an impediment that could be preventing you from moving forward, that you can address those at the beginning of a day, as opposed to letting those things fester and not getting those things addressed, and or having to chase down things yourself. So the opportunity for you to take advantage of an Agile or Scrum class or certification is going to give you the ability to understand a new approach, a modern approach that's been adopted by the Department of Defense to help tackle more complicated or intricate projects, or to help you build things that are going to be more pleasing from the perspective of outcome by eliminating waste. You're not going to be building things that are unnecessary. So the third topic, or the third thing I want to discuss, is just the difference. And it's not necessarily that one's bad and one's good. I want to be careful. It's just different. And let me describe that difference to you. In the past, where a document might spell out everything that you need, and the document was created, hypothetically years ago by a group of people who came together and said, this is a need that the military has, or this is a need that the government has, and they put together this long-winded document. I often call it a technical user requirements document, because if you do the acronym there, it's TURD. And they put together this long-winded document, and it's several hundred pages long, and it includes very specific specs about it shall, it must, it will, and it includes some very specific details about how it's going to be laid out, and what it's going to do, and what the dimensions are, and what it's going to function like. And while on the surface, for many that might seem like a dream come true, when it comes down to building the actual product or service, what we quickly discover working with the teams is that is the biggest nightmare instead of a dream come true. It confines you and restricts you to doing things a certain way, even if the ideas that are inside of this, ages old, sometimes years old document are archaic. Even if there's newer, better ways to do things, you're not given that flexibility because the document is driving you to create a product or service exactly as specified in said document. With Agile, it's almost the opposite. The output of what we build is the document in many cases. Now, that's not to say there's no documentation at all up front. What it's saying is, instead of being allocated money and saying I need these 15 things or these 20 things, the difference in Agile is you are asked, what problem are we trying to solve, or what are we trying to make better for the end user? And if the determination is that the problem we're trying to solve is X, then it's okay, what is the least amount possible that we have to build to solve that problem? It's not, let's go put together a research group to come up with 400 pages of how we're going to solve X, and what 10 products we're going to build to solve X. It's more along the lines of, what is the real problem? Let's do root cause analysis and figure out what the real problem is. And then once we've discovered what the real problem is, let's take an approach to say, how are we going to solve that problem specifically with as little adjustment as possible, and with the ability to pivot if needed, but with as little waste as possible, so that we can spend less money and build something that's important to others. And I think that lines up much better with military values and with things that you've been taught in the past. And in no way am I saying that traditional project management is a failing vessel. What I'm trying to say is that Agile project management allows you to capture and fulfill requirements incrementally or iteratively, and allows you to get higher quality, better functionality to market faster, so that you can increase your revenue share and have the ability to pivot if necessary in an environment of psychological safety, with minimal roles, with smaller team sizes, and with the ability to inspect and adapt often, so you can make sure that you're not falling too far off track before you deliver a product or service. So I hope this basic introduction was helpful to you. There's a lot of other information out there, and everyone knows how passionate I am about veterans, and specifically people who are transitioning out of the military into project management careers. We'd love to help you in any way that we can. We do offer discounts to all of our veterans for any class they participate in. So if you have questions, or if you want to inquire, reach out to us at learnmore@agiledad.com. We'd love to have you in class, and we appreciate all the sacrifices that you've made to help make it possible for us to be able to educate the world. And we hope that we'll see you in one of our sessions, in one of our workshops. And as always, we encourage you to visit agiledad.com, where you can learn more about this topic and many others. And until next time, we encourage you to stay well, stay healthy, stay agile, and as always, take care, my friends.